All right, folks, now switch gears, bring in Laura Ingraham, host of the Ingraham Angle over on Fox News. Laura, it is wonderful to see you. Can you explain to me why we're going through this again on this ICE agents business? ICE agents are here to protect us from criminals and illegals. Are they allowed to stop cars that are coming right at them? You got to help me. I don't understand this. I don't understand. The president has restored their option. What is going on with this story?
Yeah, the first thing everyone has to remember here is that the Democrats' position on this is that no one should be deported. Not murderers, not rapists, not drug traffickers, human traffickers, people who have overstayed their visas, overstayed student visas. None of them should ever be deported. On top of that, the border should be open, and anyone who wants to come here and just says they want to work here or says they feel threatened in their home country, they are also allowed to be here. So we have to start with that understanding. Now, the second point about what happened in Maine. With the partial video has been released. I guess it's like a CCTV footage. It's kind of unclear to find out what happened. There's a vehicle. The agents clearly are trying to get him to stop. Perhaps they thought this individual was the one they were going to deport. Car drives around in a circle. It's unclear when they shot into the window. And I think this investigation will obviously determine what really ultimately happened here. But and we don't want anyone to lose his or her life in this process. The problem here is we have literally 15 to 30 million. We don't even know how many people are here in the United States. Trump has a mandate to remove those people, either voluntarily leave, Larry, and then you can apply to come back, which is pretty nice, actually, since you've been living here for years and years. So you can voluntarily leave, self-deport, or you can just wait and take your chances. And on top of that, the left wing has decided they're going to try to make it as difficult and, frankly, as dangerous as possible for these ICE agents to operate. That's the layered kind of reality that we're dealing with. Now, when push comes to shove, Trump looks at this and says, wait a second. Americans want our immigration laws enforced. We have thousands upon thousands of encounters every week. Overwhelmingly, those encounters are safe and people don't get hurt. People get, arrested or detained, and then they're processed. That's what happens most of the time. Now, this doesn't look great, right at this point. That doesn't mean that every vehicle stop should be paused in the United States. That's Trump's point, because once you do that, it's going to be a drip, drip, drip of ways to try to stop this administration from carrying out its mandate to make our country safer for Americans and our workplaces filled with American workers. That's what he says he's going to do. That's what the people want. Frankly, they're way behind schedule on deportations, even though they've ramped them up recently. So, this is again, we don't want anyone to lose his or her life. If there was a tragic mistake made here, believe me, we're going to find that out. But overwhelmingly, this is actually working well. These incidents happening in a short period of time, obviously it gives the left a huge boost in PR, but mind you, they want no one deported, period, end of story.
I know, because, right, the Democratic Socialists of America, communist socialists, whatever they are, the Mondamites, whoever they are, they want to abolish ICE. They want to abolish ICE and want to legalize all the illegal immigrants. I know that. You're right. That's just the plain fact. It's in their committee print. They just published an agenda on it. It couldn't be any clearer than that. So can we reach a point where the ICE agents just do their job? Okay, can we reach that point?
Well, until people start really going to jail, and for a decent amount of time, when they impede or interfere with law enforcement, they're going to keep doing this because this gets their base all ginned up, and they think it gives them political juice. I think they're overstepping their political bounds here. I don't think they're going to get any electoral benefit from this in November. People care about what you were just talking about. The prices, gas prices. They're watching what happens in Iran only in such that it affects their standard of living back at home. And so that's what people are focused on. They want safe neighborhoods. They want to be able to save for a rainy day, send their kids to a decent school, have, maybe, heaven forbid, take a vacation every now and then. That's what the American people want. And, being on the side of the illegals against the American people, which is where the Democrats are, that's a loser proposition. Trump knows that. And thank goodness we have him in office right now.
You know, one last one, Laura. I can't resist myself. If you have a Goldilocks economy, okay, if it's there, all right, right now it's there. We don't know what the future holds, but Goldilocks will elect the GOP. They will, Senate and House.
Yeah, I think, look, well, there's some really good economic indicators. You've brilliantly gone through those yesterday and today. That's really good news. I am concerned that if we go full bore in Iran, and I'm not questioning any moves, but we have to understand, as threatening as Iran might be to American security, I'll tell you what's more threatening. Democrat takeover of the House and Senate, years of investigations, rolling right into 2028, winning the presidency. Now, you want to talk about damaging America? That's going to damage America. So this economy has got to hum, and people have to feel really confident about the future to turn around the midterm curse. That's my concern.
Well, I agree with you. I agree with you. So far, it's okay. Laura Ingraham, it is wonderful to see you. Thanks for coming back on. Take care.